So if you haven't heard of the term sankalpa before, I think it's a beautiful word. It means born of the heart over time. And I think there's many things, many decisions we make, many things we prepare for that take a very long time to come to fruition, whether it's something really challenging like ending a relationship, or like Melissa's here, deciding to have surgery on a joint that needs some repair. Or it could be something really beautiful, like preparing for a journey, an adventure, a trip that you've been wanting to do for a very long time. So, and then of course, the deeper meaning of Sankalpa is really about nourishing the heart space. What is born of the heart? So, if you take the time to really discover what your heart desires, we have to get through a lot to get to that. Sometimes we have to kind of like bushwhack through expectations, through what our heart wanted yesterday but doesn't want today. Our obligations. There's so many things that we have to kind of move through in order to really discover what the heart wants. And then to try to, after you figure out what the heart wants, then you got to figure out how to open yourself to that pathway. And this is really what a sankalpa is all about, is born of the heart over time. That it's not the quick decisions we make. It's not the all of a sudden this thing's happened, so now I have to make this decision about something. But really, the things that take a while, that take a real while to come to fruition, that let the heart open. So think about that for yourself. I've cultivated a few sankalpas in my life where you have an intention, and you move toward that intention. We all have. We've all had things like this happen to us. So, but what ways do you kind of lose your way when you're trying to follow an intention that you have, a goal that you have? What are the things that get in your way? Is it fear? Is it just habit? Is it, what is it? So, as you close your eyes and sit up straight and tall and think about something that you are cultivating in your heart, born from the heart over time. First of all, is there something? Is there something that's kind of like seeding, that's been taking root, planting a seed in your mind, heart, or spirit, or body? And are you mustering courage? Are you mustering whatever resources are needed for this seed to grow? If your Sankalpa is a trip, have you been kind of putting away a little bit of money for your journey? Is it an adventure of the heart? Have you been preparing more deeply? So just sense what is something that might be a Sankalpa for you. It can be the smallest little thing. It does not have to be like a huge tsunami life event. It can be a small little thing. And imagine, the future. The pain of the future can be avoided by the actions of today. Imagine the future that you desire, whether it's later on today or 5 years from now or whatever. And what little seed can you plant in your practice today? What can support you in your practice today to help you move toward growing this seed, this planted seed? What needs to be let go of? What needs to be tended? Move into the body now. Find your seat. Enjoy the comfort of a good posture. Feel the rise, that upward energy, the flow of down into the earth where you become supported, and then the flow upward through you. How is your breath? Can you soften the shoulders and relax a bit more? Is there a place for ease across your face, your eyes? Place your hands together at your heart. And you know the expression energy flows where attention goes, or whatever that expression is. I think that's what it is. But just remember that if you want a result, you need to have intention. You need to move your energy, your attention, your intention toward what it is that you want. And this fine balance, tightrope balance between intention and the freedom from expectation, that we can give something all we have and completely let go, all in the same moment. Release the hands and let's find our mat. So as you lie down, enjoy. Maybe you have been awake for a very long time. Maybe you just woke up. Okay, so whatever your body is, what's happening in your body right now, just take stock. Notice. Have you moved yet a lot today or not so much? Okay, and reach your body, reach your limbs. Stretch the right, stretch the left. Let that be a waking symbol in the body. And go ahead and cactus open your arms. So to have a sense of noticing how open are your shoulders. So when you cactus open your arms on the floor, do the backs of your hands touch the ground easily? Are they restful there? Or, kind of, are you not even able to touch your elbow to the floor? So just sense into what's free and what might be a little bound. Do you have a difference between your two sides? Now, in this space of goalpost arms, breathe deeply. What can you melt? What can you open? Can you feel the breath moving down the body? Open the gates of the diaphragm. And then stretch your arms back up overhead. Feel that weight. And then draw the knees into the chest and rock a little bit from side to side. All right, let's circle the knees. Move one direction a few times. And then move the other direction a few times. And then move to both directions. So we're opening up our knees and bringing them back in. Finding that range of motion. All right, right knee into the chest, left leg long on the floor. Move around your ankles. Feel into the freedom of your feet. Shoes off, lots of space. Move the joints. There's so many bones in your feet, so just see if you can feel into a lot of the articulation of all those little joints. And then change sides. Left knee and right leg long on the floor. Keep moving around your feet. Notice your shins, your calves, the outside of your shins, your ankles. Feel into that freedom. All right, and then release that knee. Starfish, open your body, spread your limbs, wiggle your fingers and toes. And then exhale, knees in, head up. Let's find the breath. Open your body out. Exhale. Close the body in. One more time. Expanding in space. Tucking in. All right, let's roll over onto our side and come up onto your hands and your knees. right, so feel the ground. Feel the mat below you, what's below the mat. See if you can yield. And let's just rock into the right side of the body, then rock into the left side. So you really sense in to that support of the earth, yielding. Notice, especially through your hands, what when you drop into the earth, does anything collapse? Can you feel the difference between giving and collapsing or propping? So propping might look like locking out your wrists and elbows, and collapsing might be kind of like falling into your shoulders or wrists. See if you can find just somewhere right in the middle. All right, and then settle into a neutral and find even weight through your hands. And let's move through some cat-cows. Arching and rounding the spine, taking your time to notice how are your vertebrae feeling today. How about the discs in between your vertebrae? Can you sense how your back is? And then move any way, any direction you want to move. You can wag your tail. You can move in circles. You can move in spirals. Whatever works. All right, and then stretch back towards child's pose. Take your hips toward the heels. Walk your hands out in front of you. Find that deep length and notice if this is okay for your shoulders. So for some of us, arms overhead isn't so happy. So what do you need to do to adjust, to change, to find a vector of movement that is comfortable for your shoulders? So play around with that. And the two hands don't have to do the same thing. Maybe one arm is out to the side and the other arm's overhead. If your arms are overhead, try turning your palms up toward the sky and feel that rotation happen all the way from the tips of the shoulder blades, the bottom tips of the shoulder blades. See if you can find the connection from your ribs to your wrists. All right, and then relax that. Go ahead and walk the hands over to one side or the other. Drop weight into your hips and stretch through the side body. Enjoy the space. Relax your neck. And come back. Go to the other side. Come back up, find all fours again. All right, curl the toes under and find your way to dog pose. Extend through your spine here. Feel free to move your feet. Experiment. Where do you want them on the ground? Do you want them wide? Do you want them close? Do you want your feet turned in? Do you want your feet out? What's giving you the right amount of space in the body? And feel free to move. If you want to bend one knee and stretch the calf of the other foot or the other leg, just feel into what's available to wake things up. And then notice as your attention has been on your legs, where are your hands right now? Is the weight all the way in the outside of your wrists? See if you can root into the index finger mounds and the thumbs a little bit more, balance things out. See if you can find that connection as you root the index fingers down all the way up into the shoulders. Feel the heart lift into space. Sankalpa, open that heart. See what it feels like to have giant spaciousness around your heart. Where have you contracted, maybe unconsciously? Is there anything you can loosen up around your heart? And then as you're ready, walk your feet forward and come into Uttanasana. Shake your hips, shake your shoulders, relax your head, bend your knees as much as you want to. Okay. Inhale for a halfway lift. Maybe your hands come on blocks or legs or the floor, wherever you're comfortable. And exhale and melt back down. Push off your feet and rise up. So, common thing that I've been seeing this a lot. So in my in-person classes, so I just want to mention it. When we come up and down, which we do so much in our practice, right? First of all, of course, when we're down here, let your knees bend as much as you need to. If your legs are straight, chances are you're going to round the back a little bit. So let's try to have some bent knees so that we can ease up the spine.
And this is the transition I want you to think about, just a little hint of how to get up and down well. So instead of rolling up and letting the spine kind of come up like this, or just being very unconscious and have no idea how you get up there or get down, try bending the knees and then drop your hips down. So you kind of come down into a deeper squat and then let your back be long as you come up. And same on the way down. See if you can keep the knees bending as you come up and down. So if you're not sure, just look at me for a moment. We're going to bend the knees, drop the hips down, and then the spine can come up so easily. So this is a lot of work for the quads, a lot of work for the glutes to lift you that way, but it'll be much safer for your back than if you just kind of round yourself up and down. All right, so enough, let's go standing up. Reach the arms out to the side. See if you can get that sense of wide open space. And maybe you want to take your legs wide too. Just wide open space. Pause here for a moment. Relax the base of the skull. Try not to let your neck take all the burden of the posture. Breathe into an open chest. And then slowly start to turn your palms so they're facing the walls next to you, and feel that little bit of a nerve zing. And you can have your shoulders in line, your hands in line, or a little bit further back, whatever feels good to your body. Finding the breath. All right, and then lift your arms up to the sky and shake them out. Bend your knees, relax. Halfway lift. Exhale and melt again. Let's step the left foot back, right foot comes forward, finding lunge. If you like to use blocks, by all means, have some blocks. Let's start to wake the legs up a little bit. Straighten the front knee. Tuck the chin toward the chest. And find your way back into a lunge. We're just going back and forth, feeling that sense of movement and freedom. All right, ground yourself. Rise up. Once again, bring your arms anywhere that's spacious and free for your heart. So, it doesn't have to be in the traditional railroad ties. You can have more space than that. You can have more space with your legs and your arms. Bring yourself into an open heart. Lift the heart a little bit toward the sky. And take the elbows down. Pull the elbows not just down, but slightly back. So feel a teeny bit of a squeeze between your shoulder blades. You don't want to grip them, but just have some energy there. Palms are facing up. Now bring your hands back a little bit and lift your chest. And then reach forward. Press your hands all the way forward. Long spine. Keep the arms over your head. Palms can be facing each other. Feel the strength of the back body. Relax your neck. And then reach the hands down. Back foot comes forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Lift your sit bones, legs straighten, spine straightens. Exhale and melt again. Okay, step your other foot back. Now our left foot is forward, our right foot is back. Extend through the heart. Start to move. Straightening, bending that front knee. Coming into the freedom, the movement of your breath. Enjoy what you're touching into in your body. What are you sensing? What are you awakening? And then when you're ready, ground yourself, come into a lunge. Take your time. Maybe you want your arms down. So, be aware your body is served. So instead of thinking, oh, I'm lazy if I put my arms down, or I'm it's too hard to put my arms up. Think less about the effort and more about, where is your breath? Where are you most efficient? Where are your joints happy? Where do you have space in the body? What gives you balance and stability best? Find these things instead of just I should be doing this or I should be doing that. Breathe well. And then wherever you ended up with your arms, bring your elbows down now. Drop them toward the earth. Bring them back. Little back body. Notice what's happening in the front of your body. Are your ribs popped out? Can you integrate through your core? Imagine you have two hands on your shoulders, gently guiding them down. right, and then when you're ready, push forward, ground into the front heel, reach the arms out in front of you, palms are facing each other. This is too hard, bring them back. Okay, there's always ways to change your movements. All right, and then place the hands down, step your front foot back, dog pose. Extend through the spine here, reaching, lengthening, and breathing. Come forward into a plank. Hold yourself steady. Remember, you can always put your knees down. So if there's anything your body needs support with, take it. If your shoulders are a little bothersome, you can have your knees off the floor. On the floor. All right, feel the core engage. Okay, and then come down, lie on the floor. Roll the shoulders a few times here. Feel the movement. And then take your arms down at your sides, palms facing the ground. Stretch your fingers away from your head. Find your breath. And then lift your arms at first, not your chest yet, just your arms, triceps engaged. Feel the backside of the arms, the backside of the shoulders. And then lift the torso a little bit too. Feel the back body work. Neck is long. Breathing well. And then relax and melt. Come up onto all fours. Swish the spine around. Breathing deeply. When you're ready, child's pose. Relax your head. Find your breath. When you're ready, curl your toes under, dog pose again. Lift the right leg up in the air and stack open the right leg. See if you can feel that you're not collapsing. So find that difference between yield and collapse. Lift through the shoulders, lift into the hip that's on the ground. And then when you're ready, square the hips again. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, knee to the center of your chest. Lift your chest forward. Inhale, bring it on back. Then the next time we come forward, let's go ahead and plant your foot down. So however you like to get there. We're going to turn and open up to the side. Okay. Come wide-legged. Okay. Bring your arms out to the side. Decide, is this happy place for your shoulders? Find Vira-2 when you're ready. As you come into Warrior 2, just notice, we don't want to pin our shoulders up at our ears. See what it feels like to turn the palms up toward the sky. Drop the shoulder blades down and just turn your hands. Try not to turn anything else, just your hands. And then reach into your fingertips. Find the breath. Reverse this into a warrior. Open your side body up, stretch. And then straighten your leg for a moment. We're coming back into those Vira legs, but this time we're going to platter the arms. So let's practice the arms before we bend the knee. Palms are facing up. Open the palms out to the sides. Feel this in your shoulder blades. Try not to let your ribs pop forward. See if you can integrate into the center and feel the back side of the shoulder blades do the work here. Do you have one shoulder that's a little stronger? Now move your neck around. Make sure it's not taking tension. When you're ready, come into the legs of your Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Find your breath. Remember that back knee is not locked out. Soften it a little bit so you can yield the back foot as if you're going to push off that back foot. Find your breath and then put your arms anywhere you want them to be. Find your favorite version of this pose. All right, let's straighten the leg. Find Trikonasana, triangle pose. Maybe your hand comes on a block, maybe it doesn't. And see what it feels like to open the chest, to feel that the heart is stretching toward the hands. Doesn't matter how low into the posture you go. Find the open heart. Find the open heart. All right, and then bend the knee while you're here. Stretch that other arm overhead. Maybe your elbow comes up onto your knee. Maybe your hand's on a block. Whatever works. Kanasana. Check in with your back knee. Have a little micro bend in it so that you have the ability to yield and push off that back leg. Extend through the spine and the side ribs. Try not to hunker down in the underbelly of the pose. So those right ribs want to extend as much as the left. Maybe your arm is in a different position from a traditional pose. Okay, let's swing back to the front of the mat, bring the hands down, come back to dog pose. Find your breath. Okay, let's come forward into a plank again. Hold yourself steady. If you want to put your knees down, go for it. Okay, so find your breath. Stabilize through your center body. Hug into the midline. How are the roots of your hands, index finger, thumb mouths? Are they as weighted as your outer wrists? Okay, let's come down onto the ground. Find your best way to get there. Come into Sphinx Pose. Elbows under shoulders, shoulders down away from the ears and open through the chest. Stretch into the legs. Start to walk your hands out and come into a wider Cobra Pose. Palms are out there. You can be on your finger pads or your palms, whatever feels good. Notice if you have a divot spot in your back. See if you can use your core to minimize your little break point in your spine. And then release and melt. Put the head on the ground. Maybe put your hands underneath your head. Rest for a moment. Breathe into the back of your body. Take your left arm out to the side and right out from you. Now, this may not be good for everybody, so you just see, you do you, start to roll a little bit onto your side and maybe take your right foot on the floor behind you, maybe not. Just check in and see how much your shoulder capsule can open. Do not force this. Find the breath. And then let's come back to center. Take the right arm straight out from your shoulder. Spin a little bit onto your right side. Take your left foot behind you if you're available. Your left hand can be on the floor to support you. Do not go past go. This is a really important thing, that your shoulder capsule is vulnerable in this position. You want to stretch the shoulder without overstretching the shoulder. And the elbow too, for that matter. So just check in and notice the sensations and don't go past the nice, comfortable place. Okay, relax and come back. Take your hands into a more full Cobra Pose. So hands are down, fingers in line with your nipples. Draw the shoulder blades down. Feel those bottom tips of the shoulder blades. Find them and lift up. Open the heart. Where's that little divot spot now? Can you use your core to support? Can you stretch your legs? Exhale and melt to come back down. Come up onto all fours. That was a lot of being on your belly. So swish your spine around, nourish your back. Feel free to do some circles or movements. When you're ready, find dog pose. So hands down onto the ground. Once you're up there, left leg is going to come up in the air. Find your breath. When you're ready, stack open. Notice that you collapse in the right side of the body. Lift underneath there. You can bend your knee if you want. Find the breath. And then straighten out that leg. Square the hips. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, bring it on back. Exhale, plant your foot forward. All right, let's rise up, turn to the side. Okay, find your way into Vira 2 on this side. Find your legs. When you're ready, bring your arms out to the sides. Okay, so first, just notice if you're pinning your shoulders up, see if you can drop your shoulders down. And as you're ready, turn the palms open. Stretch from the center of your heart to your fingertips. Turn just the hands over, nothing else. Right, relax the shoulders down. Find your legs, ground into the earth. Breathe well.
Reverse this. Lift your arm to the sky. Find your breath. All right, now straighten your legs for a moment. Let's find the arms in our little platter. So palms facing forward, and then, or palms facing up, and then take your arms out to the side. Feel the back body. Start to engage the muscles around your backside of your shoulder blades. Find your breath. Allow yourself to come into Viratu this way. Drop the shoulders down. So it's awkward for some people not to have their arms out. So just see how you are. Can you ground well through your feet? Find your breath. All right, and then we're going to turn this into triangle pose. So go ahead and straighten the leg. If you're using a block, grab a block and find your variation of triangle pose. As you come into Trikonasana, open the heart. So go as high up as you need to, where you really feel that sense of deep spaciousness in the heart space. Drop the shoulders down. Find the open breath. Maybe your head turns up toward the sky, maybe it doesn't. Just see where your neck is most comfortable. Keep softening the back knee so it's not locked out. Keep lifting the front femur bone up into the hip joint. Okay, we're going to come into Kanasana. Bend your elbow, place your elbow on your knee, or put your hand on a block, whichever feels best. How do you want your arm in the air? That right arm, do you want it out? Do you want it up overhead? Do you want it on your hip? Do you want it resting on the side, maybe on your heart? So find the place that's best for you for today. Drop weight into the feet. Relax your neck. Move your head around. Make sure your neck is not tense. You want the shoulder blades to slide down the back. Ground into 2 feet. All right, great. And then when you're ready, let's come on up and out of the pose. Turn your feet to the long edge of the mat. Hands on your hips. Stretch forward and put your arms out like dog pose, but you have really wide legs. So open up your heart space here. Open up the ribs, the belly. Open up the pelvis. Let all the breath move. And then we're going to find our way back to the front of our mat. You can come into dog pose, or you can just heel toe your feet. And we're going to find our way into a lunge with our right foot forward. For some people, this is not going to be available, so I'll give you a couple of plans here. So right foot forward, left knee is back on the ground. If your quads are loose and your knee is in a happy place, you can always put a blanket underneath your knee. We're going to reach back and grab on to the left foot with the right hand and open up our quads. If that's not available to you, you're going to stand up and hold on. You don't have to hold on to something, but you can. And just stretch your quads. A third plan C, is you can stay on the ground and you can stretch your quad this way. Where you're just holding on. So however you're deciding to get into the pose, open those quadriceps up. See if you can feel into the beautiful texture of your muscle fibers. How is your breath? All right, and then when you're ready, let's go ahead and release. Come back down, child's pose or all fours, or if you're standing up and you're just doing to the other leg standing, then you can start switching. We're going to come forward with our left foot onto the ground, come into a lunge. Now, perhaps this is good on one leg, but not on the other, so just explore, figure out what's well for your body. Go ahead and reach back with the left hand and grab your right foot. So try not to fall. Hug in toward the midline, extend, breathe your way here, relax your neck. You can always wrap a strap around your foot as well. Full inhale, full exhale. If you're standing, drop the knee straight down toward the earth instead of letting it pull out to the side. All right, and then release that quadricep muscle and find your way back to child's pose. Soften the breath, soften the body. Okay, let's come over onto our back. Okay. Rest here for a moment. Open the heart space. Let your body breathe into it. We're going to do a bridge pose with the block between our thighs. So you can have the block close to your pubic bone. You can have it between your knees. You can have it whatever width you feel comfortable with. So just find your way. You could ignore me too and not use a block. All right, we're going to lift up into a bridge, rock onto the tops of the shoulders, open the chest here. Root down through the big toe mounds. Try not to live just in the outer feet. Gently hug the block. We're not vice gripping the block, but we're gently hugging the block. Let the inner thighs and the glutes share. So, a lot of times we just grip our buttocks in this pose. See if you can realize you have other muscles as well. You are using your glutes. Of course you're using your glutes, but you're not just using your glutes. How's your breath now? How's the open heart now? Flip the palms toward the sky. Relax your neck. Try not to smush your neck into the ground. All right, and then melt and lower your pelvis back down. Relax for a moment. Take the block out of there. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Feet are wide. Let's windshield wiper our knees left and right for a moment. All right, and then roll over onto your side and come up to stand. Okay. Find Tadasana. Open heart. Turn your palms open for a moment. And when you're ready, reach the arms to the sky. And then bring them back down again and interlace them. Maybe the weird way, because we always do the normal way. Interlace your fingers, open the chest, bend your knees a lot, and release your arms away from your spine. Wherever they go, relax your neck, relax your spine. Let your back be neutral, bend your knees, bobble your head, and then release the arms. Grab onto the elbows. Let your knees bend so you're supported. Let the head hang. All right. And then come down onto all fours. Take your forearms on the mat. Okay. And just walk your knees back a little further. And then straighten your arms and come into puppy pose. So, we want our hips to be high. It's not like child's pose. Hips are high. Spine moves toward the floor. Maybe your forehead touches the ground. Take your spine long. Push off your hands to extend. Okay. And now come to forearms, being back down onto the ground again. Find your way up to dolphin pose. All right, so hug into the midline. Use all those muscles in your side bodies, your lats, your serratus. See if you can feel the work. Breathe deeply. Relax your neck. Lift your hips high. Find your breath. Okay, let's walk our feet back. Forearm plank. Hold yourself steady here. Find the breath. Lots of core. All right, and then come to rest down onto the ground. Slide your forearms a little forward. Cobra Pose. Well, Sphinx Pose. All
And then relax. Put your head on your hands. So pancake your hands. Put your head on them and lift your feet up and windshield wiper your knees. All right, reach the arms back, interlace your fingers the normal way. Notice the heads of the arms. See if you can draw the shoulder blades toward each other, down the back. Lift the heads of the arm bones away from the floor, and then lift whatever you want up. Legs can come up too. The neck stays long. Look at the ground. Breathe your way here. Relax. Turn your head one way or the other. Pick up your feet and windshield wiper your knees. Now you might say, okay, that's enough back bending. Or you might say, boy, good thing we did all these back bends to warm me up for bow pose. So you get to decide this final one. You can skip if your body's had enough back bending. Grab onto your feet. Take a deep breath in and lift everything up. Let your quads stretch. Relax your neck. Open the heart. Let the breath travel in the body. All right, relax. Turn your head one side or the other. Windshield wiper your knees. Turn your head the other way. Keep rocking your feet. Okay. All right, let's come flipped over onto your back. Okay. Bring your right knee into your chest. Your left foot is on the floor or straight. You decide. If you have a strap, you can use a strap. We're going to lift your right leg straight up in the air. So you can either hold behind your behind your hamstring, or grab a strap to hold on. Okay, extend through the spine. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Let your spine grow easy on the floor. All right, so regardless of whether your left leg is straight or your left foot is on the floor with your knee bent, we're going to leave it there and cross the right leg over to the left. Stretching a little bit of the outer hip. Open the chest. Keep it free. Try not to hunker down. Okay, lift that leg back up. 2 feet in the strap if you're using a strap, or 2 hands behind your legs if you're holding your legs. When you're ready, right foot comes out of the strap, right leg comes down, or right foot comes down. Decide your pathway. You can use a strap, or you can interlace your hands behind your quads. So behind your hamstring, whatever is good for you. Hips are square to each other. Try not to let your hip hike up toward your shoulder. Let your head weight itself into the floor. Relax the shoulders. Deep breath in here, deep breath out. Okay, let's cross the leg over. So crossing past the midline. You can take your heel of your hand in the hip crease if you want. Keep resting the head down. Let's go ahead and relax. Now you have a choice here. We're either going to come into Pigeon Pose or Reverse Pigeon Pose. So decide whether you want to stay here on your back and put your right foot on your left knee and come into Reverse Pigeon Pose, or perhaps you want to come into Full Pigeon Pose, and feel free to support yourself if you need it with blankets or blocks.
So if you're coming into pigeon pose, right leg is coming forward, come squaring the hips, extend the spine and find your way. Okay, so either pose is wonderful. Let your hips open. No matter what pose you're doing, rest your head. So either rest the back of your head on the floor or rest your forehead on a block. Release tension through your neck and shoulders. All right, let's find our way. Coming to the second side. So perhaps you have an injury or something on one side of the body that prevents you from being comfortable in pigeon pose, in which case for sure take reverse pigeon pose. Maybe you just prefer one pose over the other, and that's okay too. You don't have to always strive for the pose you don't like. You know, sometimes people struggle with pigeon pose, so that's okay. You can not do it and go into a place of stretching your hip that makes you feel easeful. And some people love pigeon pose. And sometimes you can have a love-hate relationship with pigeon pose. So whatever pose you're doing, see if you can love it. See if you can find your way into ease. Support yourself as best as you can. The head is heavy and resting. The breath is deep. Sit bones are wide apart. Check in with your joints and make sure everything's okay. You don't want to have guarding. You don't want to feel like, ooh, if I moved a millimeter, something would snap. You know, you don't want that feeling. You want to be able to have ease in your posture. So choose something that allows for ease. All right, let's come out of the pose. We're going to sit up, sit cross-legged. However, you get there. I'm sitting on the edge of a blanket. Maybe you would like some support as well. Simple cross-legged twist. Left hand is behind you, right arm lifts. Bring your hand to the outside of the knee and twist and breathe. If you can't be in this position for whatever reason, ankles, feet, knees, hips, you can do a twist on your back. Okay, come back to center, change sides. How's your breath? Are you aligned over your pelvis? Do you have a sense of elongation in the spine? All right, and then relax and come out of there. So now we're going to come onto our back, bring our knees to our chest, and finally we get to do a happy baby pose. If you back bends, often this is the first thing we want to do after a back bend is to just round our spine. And it's really important to do some twists and some hip openers in between a back bend and a forward bend so that you're not stressing the vertebrae and the discs. Okay, put your feet down onto the ground. Now we have a few minutes. We have like 4 or 5 minutes.
So let's do a restorative pose of your choice. If you are working with a sankalpa, sometimes, born of the heart, to me, that one of the best postures to have this open heart space is Supta Baddha Konasana, but perhaps it's something different for you. Maybe you want to curl and let the heart rest inward and do a supported child's pose, or leg up the wall pose, or a twist over a bolster, or whatever it is that is your favorite thing to do right now. So Supta Baddha Konasana, I think most of you know this pose. You can have blocks or blankets underneath your outer knees. Whatever pose you're doing, make sure you're choosing support. So, for instance, if you're in Supta Baddha Konasana, have support of some blocks or blankets underneath your knees. Okay, so there's lots of ways to go about doing this posture. I'm taking very little support under my back. You can have no support under your back. You can have a whole ramp of bolsters from your couch under your back. You can be flat on your back with your legs up the wall. So whatever choice you're making, make sure once you get there that you feel really supported, that your body feels suspended in a nest of support, that there's not work to be done. Restorative poses are not about work, they're about rest. They're not even about strong sensation in the body of stretching. They're just about nurturing the sense of ease in your body. So, do you have that? Do you have a sense of ease growing? How is your breath? Can you relax your neck and shoulders no matter what position you're in? Whenever you are ready to transition to Shavasana, you can do that. As you find your way into the ease of lying down, maybe you're staying put, maybe you don't want to move. Whatever you're choosing to do, renew that sense of support from the earth. Feel yourself melt into it. Let your head rest. Feel the weight drop.
Soften through your eyes. Melt the shoulders. Melt the belly. Just breathe. Let's begin to deepen our breathing. And slowly start to emerge from your deep place. Start to wiggle your toes or turn your head from side to side. And eventually find your way coming onto your side. And coming up to sit. Whatever is rising in your heart, whatever seeds are being planted, may they be nourished. Let's use our energy wisely to help others nourish their dreams as well. Offer your energy. Namaste. Thank you, friends. I hope you have a beautiful day.